Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Joy of Travel. So the vaccine is on its way, and Canadians are actually starting to feel helpful and hopeful and optimistic about being able to travel in the near future. But there is still a little bit of hesitancy and concerns in regards to what's actually happening on the ground in different countries. So I thought what I would do is reach out to some of my in-destination suppliers and ask them exactly what it's like in their country today. Joining me is Federica Tucci of TFL Tours in Livorno, Italy. And Federica, hello and welcome.
Hello, Joy. How are you? Thank you very much for your presentation.
No, that's terrific. Now, listen, everyone knows, of course, that Italy had that dubious distinction of actually being the epicenter of one of the worst outbreaks of COVID. How are you faring today? What is the optimistic outlook for Italy?
Okay, yes. I wish I could tell you today that the situation is much better than last year. And in a way, I'm telling you. But actually, this past week and the upcoming week are not very good ones for us. I mean, unfortunately, our infections are still going up. So our government has decided to close schools and more businesses, shops. Our swimming pools are still closed. Our gyms, for example, museums. It's just to be sure that the number of infections is going down. Obviously, last year it was terrible because nobody knew about the virus. So we were all terrified. And it was a very bad lockdown for us. Today, even if we are in lockdown, we have a very different attitude. We know our enemy. We know what COVID-19 is now. We know how to fight it as well. And we're very optimistic that things will soon get better here in Italy. The point is that our health minister has just announced that the vaccination should speed up. And he's predicting that we will have 500,000 of the population vaccinated by the end of June and 80% of the population vaccinated by the end of September. So this makes me feel, of course, very optimistic. Both of us know the way it is. I mean,
exactly.
The more vaccinated people you have, the infections go down. This is what happened in US, in UK, in Israel, where they have done better with vaccines. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I really hope that we will soon have a better situation here.
For sure. That sounds great. I mean, and it's very similar here in Canada as well. So it is sort of an day by day sort of process. But as you say, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we should definitely be looking forward to visiting Italy again soon. Now, tell me a little bit more about TFL Tours and how you started and what you're all about.
Yes, I love talking about TFL Tours, of course, because it is like a baby for me. I opened the company in 2006, November 2006. So this year we're going to be 15 years old. It's a teenager right now. And yes, but before opening my agency, I used to work in tourism before with different roles, of course. When I was at the University of Pisa studying languages and literatures, I used to work as a tour leader for the cruise lines calling at the port of Livorno. So I used to take groups of cruisers to the cities of art, and that kind of work, being on the battlefield, really helped me to understand what the taste of a North American or of a British is in relation to tours and experiences. Then I went to work for 3.5 years in another agency here in Livorno. And after that experience, I felt it was time for me to open my business. When the agency was opened, it was a very small one. It was just me and another travel advisor and our bookkeeper. So it was just 3 of us.
While today, present bookkeeper.
Yeah. While today we have grown quite a lot. It's a group of 8 travel advisors, including me, 8 women. Yes, it's It's an entirely female agency, and we work, our business is split in two directions. We work directly with some cruise lines, offering them shore excursions. And then we work only with travel advisors, not with final clients. So
Right.
travel advisors like you,
Yes.
Joy,
Mm-hmm.
in creating tailor-made programs for the final client. So we only work in incoming, and we work all over Italy.
Yeah. So I mean, the nice thing about it that I found my experience in working with you is that because you're on the ground in Italy, if something happens, like in the way of a strike or there's some kind of an issue, you're on top of it immediately because you're actually on the ground. And you guys also curate some absolutely beautiful, personalized, very unique experiences. So my heart goes out to you there. It's like you guys do your jobs very, very well. Now, in regards to, I mean, COVID's going to sort of sit with us for a while. Where do you see, let's say, the trends in travel changing because of COVID, because of people's awareness of being closed in with other people? How do you see that changing the way people travel in Italy?
That's a very interesting question. One of the big changes that I predict, and I'm pretty sure that I'm quite right on this, is that more and more people will use travel advisors for their holidays. I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen. And we already see it. Even the younger generations, the people in their 30s, are coming to us through travel advisors.
Right.
Because they've noticed that it was very difficult during the pandemic, if they were around or if they had something booked and they had to cancel or to postpone it. So the help of a travel advisor who's kind of protecting them, pampering them, and an on-location partner, as you said before, that's very, very important because we're here, we are inland. So if anything happens, we're here to assist. We have emergency numbers, which are real ones because it's just our girls in the office that keep the mobile phones, you know. So in turn, we have our mobile phones. And we can really help. Travelers. So I'm pretty sure that more and more people will use travel advisors. This is the first prediction that I have. Second, I also believe that finally, and I'm saying finally because I've always tried in my career to convince travelers to experience more off the beaten path destinations and smaller museums. And this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to visit the Colosseum, the Vatican museums, Pompeii, the Accademia for David. I mean, for us, it's very easy because these are the highlights, but we have a bunch of destinations and small museums that I'm sure North Americans, Canadians would love so much. It's just a matter of changing the perspective for a while, trust our expertise, and I'm sure that we can really create something unique and clients will feel more, will feel better in a way because they will respect social distance. They will avoid crowds. That's how I see, how I see it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, a lot of it too is that people are going to, by doing things off the beaten path, they'll have the opportunity to truly immerse themselves into a real Italian region, you know, like Umbria and Puglia and going down to Amalfi. You're not going to necessarily, as you say, go to the Blue Grotto in Capri all the time where there's big crowds. You'll try some of these smaller little areas and still have amazing experiences. And sort of, as you say, you know, those unique opportunities to take pictures where you're not surrounded by other people. So I think you're right. Off the beaten path is definitely the way to go. Now, would you be instilled to inspire people to travel later this fall and into, let's say, early 2022? What do you think the advantages are going to be for those people to jump on early?
Well, for sure, I think that as soon as the situation in Italy with the vaccination is getting better, our government will reopen the borders to North America, especially because at the same time, Canada and US will be doing well with vaccines as well. So I'm pretty sure that September, October could be good months to travel, and definitely, of course, next spring. I really hope, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, that for next spring, the situation will be back, if not 100% normal, I would say at least 80, 90% normal. So people will be able to travel. One thing that I would like to stress out is that at TFL Tours, we are extremely flexible now. I mean, for us, it's important that clients feel safe when they travel and they don't feel obliged to pay something now. That's why we have decided not to apply a deposit like we used to do before when a program is confirmed. So if you have like a client coming to you, Joy, and asking for a program in Italy in October, that is fine. If he confirms the program, we can book everything for him, but he has to deposit only 3 months in advance, which means that, for example, for October, it would be July. When we get to 3 months in advance, we will check the situation, of course, and if it is still uncertain, we will try to move it forward until we're sure that he can really travel. We don't want to take money from clients if we're not sure that they can travel. I mean, it was very difficult last year that we had to, we made lots of refunds, and it took long time, and it was not a good feeling for me. So this time we are changing. We're just waiting when we're sure that the clients will be able to come.
Terrific. And I'm thinking as well, too, though, that, I mean, if people are going to travel in September and October of this year, and let's say early spring of 2022, they'll take advantage of some opportunities where the crowds will be much smaller. What about the pricing for like hotels and stuff like that? Are we going to see lower prices, higher prices? What do you think?
I think that maybe for this September, October, prices will be lower than the average because the hotels especially have to restart. So the rates may be lower. For next spring, it depends on the situation. I don't think that they will go much higher than they were in 2019. In case they could go to the same level of prices. Of course, the cities of art, in my opinion, will have less crowds than before, because it's true that tourism will restart, but not, of course, like 2019 immediately next year. So I think it's a good way to explore and feel less, crowded and surrounded by too many people.
Terrific. And you'll also be able to get that picture of you in front of the Trevi Fountain, maybe just you. That's been years.
Well, maybe not just you, but with less people around. Yes, it could happen. It could happen.
For sure. Yeah. So give me, let's take our viewers through what one of your shore excursions would be like, your 3-day extension. So often a lot of the cruises, of course, they all end in Civitavecchia, which is the port city of Rome. And you would do, let's say, a beautiful 3-day extension. So why don't you walk me through what that would look like with TFL Tours?
Yes, if you don't mind, I'm going to share a presentation with you right now about it. And let's start, right? So let's assume that most of the cruises end and begin in Civitavecchia, right? Which is about 3 hours driving from Tuscany. So when you arrive in the port of Civitavecchia, if you have a post-cruise booked with us, you will disembark the ship, and there will be one of our drivers waiting for you right there with
such a handsome man.
Yes, we have very handsome drivers, very friendly, smiling. They're all friends of us. This is also one of our best drivers in the Rome area. So if it's just 2 of you, we usually use a private car, like the one that you see on the top of the picture, which is perfect for 2 persons. If it's more like 4 or 6, we use a minivan, always luxury vehicles, always Mercedes. But let's start. Let's go to Tuscany right now. Well, you have the choice, right? You could decide to stay in Florence, for example, and here you have beautiful Florence. You can recognize Palazzo Vecchio, the old palace, the town hall, the beautiful dome, the cathedral. And well, in Florence, it would be great to stay in a hotel like this one, for example, which is perfect, like a 4-star luxury property with a view over the Duomo, or in a smaller boutique hotel. It's up to you, because as we said before, we only work on tailor-made packages. And this is very important, because I would like your clients to understand that we can create the perfect itinerary for them. Of course,
in whichever and whatever kind of budget too.
Of course. If we have the budget of the client, it would be much easier for us to create the perfect package for them.
Okay.
If they haven't been to Florence, for sure, they would like to have a guided tour in town with one of our knowledgeable guides, and they would see the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge, for example, right, this one in the picture, and for sure the David inside the Galleria dell'Accademia, which is a must, sculpted by Michelangelo between 1501 and 1504. It's something magnificent. We can provide skip the line tickets. But as I was telling you before, we could also see smaller museums. I could make 100 examples, but I'll make only one, otherwise we don't have enough time. This is, for example, Palazzo Medici Riccardi. It's a beautiful palace, built thanks to the Medici family. This is the courtyard with the beautiful lemon trees. And this is famous, for example, for a series of frescoes. And the masterpiece is this one by Benozzo Gozzoli. It's The Journey of the Magi. Very few people know it, but we could take you there. No lines, no crowds. It's just one of the many examples. Some of your clients may decide, on the contrary, that they prefer to stay in the countryside, which is much more relaxed than being in a town, and it would connect them with nature, for sure. For example, when you come back from one of your excursions with our drivers and guides, you would have time to relax by the pool before going to dinner. So it would be completely different than being in town, than being in Florence. And this is an example of a 4-star property, one of the ones that we use, but we have so many. We have, simpler agriturismo or 5-star luxury. This is just an average and good quality 4-star property, for example.
Okay.
But of course, both from Florence or from the countryside, you could visit the famous cities of art. So I would be happy to take you to Siena if you haven't been before. Siena is an amazing town, one of my favorite, really. This is the beautiful Piazza del Campo. Look at these magnificent palaces. And the Torre del Mangia, the town hall, the crenellated palace, and the beautiful tower. It is one of the most amazing squares that we have in Italy. I'm really in love with Siena. But look also at the Cathedral of Siena, for example, how beautiful it is. Our guide could take you inside. It's so rich, there's so much to see, and you would learn a lot about the story of this town. Another town that your clients could love and would love to go is for sure Pisa.
Oh, of
Pisa
course.
is a town that everybody knows, the famous Leaning Tower. It's an amazing picture when you arrive there. Our drivers with the small vehicles can take you right by the tower. You don't have to walk all the long way from the parking like the big groups, because with the small vehicles, you can get right there. You can see the cathedral and the Leaning Tower on the right side. Well, actually, in this picture, the tower is not leaning so much. But in this one, it leans more.
There we go.
And I can guarantee that it leans. It's true. Then, for example, Pisa could be combined with Lucca. Lucca is very close to Pisa. So we could make a full day tour from Florence or from the countryside to Lucca and Pisa. Lucca is a medieval town, very beautiful. This is an amphitheater square called Piazza dell'Anfiteatro. It's amazing in the summertime. You can have summer concerts and all these restaurants for a good meal or an aperitif. It's really a town that I love so much. And Lucca is also beautiful for its churches, like this one, the Church of San Michele. There's many churches in town, and it's a pedestrian town, so it's very nice to stroll around without the cars, you know, going around you. Around Lucca, for example, there's plenty of beautiful villas and gardens that your clients who love countryside mansions and flowers would love to visit maybe. This is Palazzo Fanner. It's amazing because it's like a country villa, but it's inside the town of Lucca, within the circle of walls. And look at this other amazing villa, Villa Torrigiani. It's one of the many villas that we have around the town of Lucca. There's plenty because Lucca was a very rich town, and a lot of noble families used to build these residences just outside of the town. The park itself is beautiful, not only the villa. I call it kind of small Versailles, honestly.
Yes,
you see just this
actually,
picture.
I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
That's kind of what it reminded me of a little bit.
It's really beautiful, yes. And then, of course, if you haven't been, you won't miss San Gimignano, another difficult word
My favorite.
to pronounce. Yes. The city of the beautiful towers. Look at the skyline. It's the Manhattan of Tuscany, honestly. And the countryside around is so beautiful. And look at this square in town, in San Gimignano. It looks very empty in this picture. It may be more crowded actually when you visit, because San Gimignano is quite touristy indeed.
It is very popular.
And another beautiful town that you could visit together with San Gimignano is Volterra, for example. Volterra and San Gimignano can be combined in one excursion, both from Florence or the countryside. Look at this beautiful palace, the crenellated palace, called Palazzo dei Priori. It's made of small alleys. It really seems when you visit Volterra to go back in time. But when you think of Tuscany, you also think about our beautiful countryside, don't you? So let's see if I'm right. You think of Tuscany, and sunflowers is something that you think about, don't you?
Absolutely.
Well, sunflowers like these can be found in summertime, in July, and we've got plenty. Our drivers know the best spot where you can stop to take the best picture of the sunflowers with no one around, of course. And then vineyards. Tuscany is a great wine producer. So we have lots of vineyards, lots of wineries, and olive trees, because another great product of the region of Tuscany is an excellent extra virgin olive oil. I would say that we produce the best extra virgin olive oil in Italy. Well, you can say that I'm telling you because I'm Tuscan, of course, and it could be. But in reality, it's because it has got the right flavor, you know. The one in the south is a little bit too strong. The one in the north, it's a little bit too light. Tuscany is in the central part of Italy, and it has got the perfect extra virgin olive oil.
The one thing I learned when I was in Italy was that you guys look at your olive oil almost like a religion. Like it's very important.
Absolutely. For us, food is extremely important. You're right. And another typical tree that you can find in Tuscany, it's so beautiful, amazing, are cypress trees, like these ones. Yeah, all over Italy, cypresses are usually found, honestly, close to cemeteries, because it's considered kind of holy tree. You know, it connects the soul to paradise, but not in Tuscany. In Tuscany, the cypress tree is not a sad tree. On the contrary, it's a kind of status symbol. We usually find them bordering the boulevards, going to the expensive villas of the region of Tuscany, and they're really beautiful. This is the boulevard south of Livorno, in a village south of Livorno called Bolgheri. And it's really an amazing wine area of Tuscany. But let's carry on. I could make really many more examples. This is the area of Montalcino, south of Livorno, where another good wine is produced. And this is just around a beautiful abbey, which is still inhabited by monks. It's called Sant'Antimo Abbey. Look at how beautiful the landscape is, and at the abbey itself. These pictures were all taken in the summertime and there were not many people around. So if you're looking for off the beaten path itineraries, this could be included. It's one of the many examples. And this is an internal picture of the Abbey and nobody was around. So let's say that now it's the turn of your clients to decide what they would like to include in their ideal 3 days in Tuscany with us. We have plenty of experiences that we can propose them, and depending on what they like, we will combine them together with the visits of the towns that we've seen before. For sure, we said that Tuscany is a great wine producer with lots of wine areas, like, for example, the Chianti area, the area of Montalcino in the southern part where we produce the Brunello di Montalcino, and the area of Montepulciano where we produce the Vino Nobile. No matter where you go in Tuscany, you will drink a very good wine. And of course, all the wine experiences at the wineries, if it is a small winery, family run, or a big one producing very expensive wine, no matter what, it will always end with wine tasting, of course, with some snacks, because, you know, in Tuscany, we drink and we eat very well.
That's right.
There's plenty of experiences that I could list. I've just chosen the ones that I like better for my presentation. For example, look at this one. What are these? These are goats, because there's an area of Tuscany, the area of Pienza in southern Tuscany, where we make a wonderful cheese. And we can take you directly to a producer, family-run place, where you can see the goats and you can see the entire production, how they make their own cheese. And of course, after this experience, you will taste cheese, and you can also have a wonderful meal in the open air, overlooking the beautiful countryside. Look at this. It's a paradise for foodies like me.
No kidding.
Let's carry on. Who's this guy here in the picture? This guy is Luca, and the dog in the picture is the one that he uses for truffle hunting. His name is Giotto. We sell this experience a lot, and trust me, our clients rave about it. Luca would take you would make an introduction when you arrive at the property, and then he takes you to the wood, and he will show you how Giotto and himself find truffles. So you will see how they work together, how the dog is able to find truffles, which is not really a mushroom, but
I know.
Yeah, it's just underground, and the dog smells the mushrooms, and it's a very precious product indeed. That truffles can be very pricey. This is not a seasonal experience in Tuscany, because even if it's true that we have the best truffle season in September, October, and November, when we have the precious white truffle, we can find black truffles for the entire season, even in spring and summertime. So we offer this experience 12 months a year. And of course, you will have a truffle meal afterwards, starting from the antipasto with truffle cold cuts, crostini with sauces with truffle and cheese, and tagliolini with sliced truffle, fried egg with truffle, and even the dessert is made with honey truffle. Delicious, trust me. What else can you think of an experience in Tuscany? A cooking class.
I was going to say, where's the cooking classes?
We have plenty of cooking classes that we can organize in proper cooking schools in Florence or in Siena, or in the countryside in kind of restaurants or farmhouses. And we always propose hands-on cooking class, so that you will learn to use our good ingredients, mix them together, make your own pasta, and learn some Italian dishes. Because Tuscan cuisine is in the end a very simple cuisine. We don't use very elaborate ingredients. Look at this plate, for example, just ravioli with a simple tomato sauce, just some herbs, and Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano. Perfect. Simple,
Parmigiano.
easy. When you've learned to do this, I mean, it's you know one
You
of
can
the
make
best
anything look
secrets.
beautiful.
That's really a beautiful plate. I agree with you. And another experience that we love to offer, I mean, culinary. I'm talking a lot about culinary, but it will
Well,
soon
we are
end.
talking about Italy.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're talking about Italy, and in Italy, we talk a lot about food.
Exactly.
We offer lots of culinary tours in Florence, for example, and we
Okay.
also combine them with art. So some of our tours are just culinary tours, some others are art and culinary tours. So it
Okay.
means that you visit like the Cathedral of Florence, then you make a stop to taste a typical product, you continue to see David, and then you make another stop and you taste something else. For
Okay.
sure, it's our cold cuts, which are always so good and tasty, our wine, and some special dishes like here you can see a few. For example, on the left side on top, you see kind of a bread with onions and basil and tomatoes. That's our panzanella, which is a
Okay.
summer dish. It's just kind of soaked bread in vinegar, scented with these typical ingredients. Lovely. I mean,
Well, the
all
thing
our
too is that I think the nice thing too is that you're taking them to restaurants that are more local restaurants as well. They're not the kind of
absolutely.
restaurant that they would find as a tourist wandering around. So that's what I think is so unique. I love that
Absolutely,
aspect of it.
absolutely. We take our guests to small places, to the markets, to places where they would feel and taste the real,
Authentic.
Tuscan
Yeah,
cuisine.
for
Absolutely.
sure.
We have been talking a lot about food right now, but I'm sure
And I'm
that your
getting
clients,
hungry.
yeah, I'm hungry too, actually. But your clients may say, you don't have any other kind of experiences to offer us? Of course. I just make two more examples. I could
Okay,
stay here hours. If you have like
I
three,
know,
four
but we've
hours, I
we've
can
only got
carry
about
on and I will
7 minutes.
never stop. But look at this, for example. This is an experience that,
Ferrari.
yes, that maybe more men than women would like. This is my husband. Look how happy he is in the
Look, he
picture.
is.
I use him as a sort of guinea pig, to test all the experiences that I'm proposing to our
Well,
clients.
he looks like a
And
very
this is a
happy man.
wonderful experience, trust me. It's a test drive with a Ferrari that we can do in Tuscany. And it starts right from Piazzale Michelangelo, which is the beautiful square overlooking Florence. And you can drive up to Fiesole, which is the small village where we are right here in the picture, which is about 30 minutes driving. Well, don't expect that they give you the keys of the Ferrari and they tell you, drive, go, bye-bye. No, that's not like this. I
Okay,
mean, you definitely have the instructor next to you,
okay,
and he also has the pedals control. He won't use it unless you're doing something bad and you're not
crazy.
able to, yeah, exactly. And I was sitting at the back. There was a tiny place. I had to squeeze, but it was very nice. I really enjoyed it very much, and my husband too. So, oh, well, not to forget that after the experience, we toasted in a beautiful place, cafe overlooking Florence. It was really a very magnificent and romantic experience, I
I
would say.
bet. It sounds amazing.
Just to mention another experience that I really love and we offer quite a lot in Tuscany is balloon flight. You see, my husband again, it's always him and
No
always
kidding.
smiling, always happy, actually. It's an amazing experience. We organize it in the Chianti area. You usually fly at dawn because it's the better moment of the day when the sky and the winds are calm and you have the better weather conditions, of course. And you take part to the preparation of the flight with the staff. Look at this picture, when they inflate the
Yeah.
balloon, and then of course you're ready, you will fly and you will be over the clouds. It's an amazing experience. Don't think that it is only for the very adventurous ones, because I'm not that adventurous. It is a very soft experience. It's not like paragliding, for example. It's
No,
perfect
no.
for families and for people like me who are not so adventurous, but love the good things. It was really amazing. And after the balloon flight, You will have the breakfast in the morning with strawberries, champagne, and Tuscan focaccia and ham, and you will also receive a certificate for flying. I just talked about some experiences that you can do in Tuscany. You could do much more. Just let us know what you would like to do, and we're here to help. The last picture is my team. I wanted to introduce
there you are.
Your clients, of course, to our team. I told you it's 8 women right here from left to right. You've got Ariella, Stefania, Barbara, Cecilia, Simona, me, Federica, Caterina, and Elena. We were laughing like that because the picture was taken by Elena's son, who's only 6 years old, but he acted like a professional photographer. That's why we're laughing that much.
Very well done.
Picture. And well, I really hope you like my presentation, and I'm here if you have any question about it.
Well, you know, I think it's just an amazing way to sort of showcase to the people who are watching that this is the reason that you use an in-destination supplier, is because they have access to these sorts of really unique and regional experiences. And, you know, honestly, what I would love to do, Frederica, is schedule another chat with you, or perhaps we cover, you know, something in the Amalfi Coast, or we do something in Cinque Terre, best way to do Cinque Terre, because I think you are just an amazing wealth of information, and you are a true host to your country. You do Italy so well. Thank you so much for joining us. I really think that people are going to feel a lot more comfortable about what Italy has to offer and feel very safe in your hands. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Joy, for giving me the chance to be here with you. It's a pleasure. I know it's not a very easy moment for all of us, but I'm really positive that very soon you will be able to come in person and see all this. And for sure, we can make another presentation whenever you wish.
I think that would be fabulous. Terrific. So everyone, we are going to be doing a number of these different discussions with other countries and all that sort of thing. So please stay tuned and check in again to Joy of Travel. Bye for now.